Let's talk about art style, okay, guys? Especially on social media, if you look around, all the artists that I admired had really cool, striking, awesome art styles. And I thought what was separating me and those artists I admired was that they had awesome art styles and my art style sucked. So I thought, if I can have a better art style, then my art will look better. Yeah? And there's a lot of things that I thought that went into art style. Could be like the brushes they use, the thickness of their lines, how they draw certain things, like how they draw eyes, how they draw noses, that kind of stuff, right? In my mind back then, art style was a kind of formula almost, right? So like, hey, you can like, let's say a specific art style might be like, okay, so if I draw a nose like this with 2 dots, okay, and then we add a little bit of shading underneath, that's a nose. Okay, like that's an art style then. Or maybe if you're going all the way anime style, maybe I just gotta do like a dot, and then they have this sort of like triangle of lining up there. That's another art style kind of thing. So basically, formulas and shorthands I could use to improve my art, essentially, right? But how does it look like from the side view? Don't worry about it. I think it's trendy these days to study Mika Picasso, but it's a lot more funny if I ask my friend, can I use you as clickbait in a YouTube video? And they say yes. Isn't that better? I call him Zero Babu because like I have no idea how this is supposed to be pronounced, so it's probably Zero Babu, right? I would say Zero has a really striking and very cool style, right? Look at Zero's style, okay? Mostly black and white. He has some color work down here. Look at Heather. In particular, check out the way Zero draws noses, right? Since we're talking about noses, right? It's like very simple. Just a dot here. Over here as well. Just a dot. It's cool. It's cool. Right? Sometimes he does this thing where he just outlines the highlight or shadow. It's a highlight in this situation. Very cool. Wait, it's Fern. Very stylish, right? Back then, when I looked at artists that were better than me, I'd be like, oh, I see. And I'll just copy that by like, all right, so I want to draw noses like Mr. Zero here. I will just, you know, either do a dot or a line like this or something like the highlight on top. Yeah, all these special different anime noses. And I don't know if you've had this experience before, right? But back when I tried to copy art styles in this way, I would do my very best to, you know, copy the way they drew noses, eyes, use the same brush. I'd ask them which brush they were using and try to copy that too. But somehow, I just never really could draw as well as they could. And it was super, super frustrating. So the reason why just kind of copying someone's art rarely works is because an art style is more than just formulae. It's more than the way they draw eyes, the pens they use, the way they draw certain things. I think what an art style actually is a combination of a whole bunch of different things. Like, it's their preferences, their inspirations, the styles of artists they were inspired by, and even their mistakes and their limitations and skills. For me in particular, my style consists of kind of messy-ish brushwork right here, and that's because I don't know how to clean it up. Limitation and skill. But that's also part of my art style, because I can't do better. To sum up what art style really is, it's their own personal interpretation and simplification of reality. Because unless we're talking about abstract art, almost all art is based on reality in some way. And an artist's style is how they choose to present that reality. They can change it, they can tweak it, they can make it better because they're artists, and if they don't think reality looks good, they can change it. So like, yeah, we can say that like, oh well, Zero only draws noses as a dot, but if you know where to look, Zero 100% knows how to draw noses, okay? He actually does study like hell from reality, but he chooses to draw noses in that way because that's just a combination of his preferences, right? He knows, yeah, he knows how to nose. Exactly. Thank you. So obviously, the secrets to being able to find your own style. It's not much of a secret, honestly. It's understanding the fundamentals. If you want to be able to interpret reality, you have to know reality in the first place, right? I think everyone's heard this before, but you gotta know the rules before you can break them. People say it all the time, but it is true. And if you look at his study account again, it might seem like super overwhelming, right? So some people might be thinking like, oh my god, before I can draw anime girls, I seriously have to do all of this? Are you kidding me? And the answer is like, no, not really. You don't have to study all the perspective and all the anatomy and all the fundamentals before you're allowed to find your own style. Of course not, right? Of course not. But it's good to like kind of like study it in small steps. You can study a little bit of anatomy and then work on your style. You can study a bit of perspective and then your style can go a little bit further. Just take little small steps at a time and slowly improve. And here's the funny thing about trying to develop your own style, right? I was talking about developing your own style because I think I was really interested in finding my own unique style. And I think so are a lot of other people who are watching this video. You'll find that as you study these fundamentals, your style will just kind of naturally develop. And don't forget, everyone already has a style, whether consciously or not. Here, listen to me again.
I hope in a year I can develop my own style more.
Yeah, I hope in a year I can develop my own style more. But what he doesn't know already, that very evidently PewDiePie already has his own style. So a style actually is not something you can avoid. Everybody has one. It's simply the way you prefer to draw, right? So what people really mean when they say they want to find a style is that they're not satisfied with their style, which is a totally valid and okay thing to think, because I think I also did a bunch of style studies a little bit earlier. I could just show you guys. I did a TB Choi and Taco style study because I was dissatisfied with the way I was drawing bodies. So I just copied their homework. And okay, TB Choi, give me your power now. Give me energy. I will draw like TB Choi. They already found an appealing style. So I just kind of copied their art and tried to understand what they were doing here. So here was the way I was drawing bodies before I did that style study. Here it is afterwards, and I'm much happier with the after, and that was because I was able to study their style. But then here's the thing, if you don't have fundamentals, doing style studies like this where you just copy their art is usually less effective. I'm not saying that you'll get nothing from it or anything, right? When you're trying to do a master study or a style study, what you're trying to do is get into the artist's head. You're trying to figure out what it is they were thinking. Like, why is this line here? What is this line supposed to represent in reality? And because I have studied fundamentals and I have studied anatomy, I can see like, oh, okay, well, they drew this line over here because this is where the pectoralis major is. Here's where the deltoid is, and this is that separation. What is this over here? Well, this clearly is the triceps over here, right? This bump here. I know that because I studied it. And I know that there is a flat section over here because there is a flat tendon on the triceps that leads to the elbow. And you only know this information from studying. And because I know this, I can understand what they're trying to represent, how they're trying to tweak reality to suit their needs. And it makes the style study like 10 times more effective, if you know what I mean, right? Some people might be a little bit concerned when they do style studies or master studies or copy people's art like this, because it's like, no, I don't want to be a copy of some other artist. I want my own unique style, right? That's a natural concern to have. First thing, I got explicit permission from TB Choi to try to copy her style. Like, I explicitly asked her in a voice call, can I copy your style? She said like, oh no, please don't copy my style. I'm not good enough to copy, you know, usual artist imposter syndrome things. And then she said yes, so I feel absolutely no guilt. Secondly, even if you copy from their style like this, you will always find a way to make it your own. You will never become a total exact copy. Like, over time, as you incorporate more information, more knowledge, more inspirations, it will change, so I really wouldn't worry about it. You probably shouldn't feel constrained by style either. I know that when I was younger, I used to think, okay, so here is how I draw noses. This is now my style. And because of that, I am not permitted to draw noses any other way because that would be an inconsistency of style, and that's bad, and I don't want that. But it's not like that. Your style will shine no matter how you choose to draw that nose in the moment. It's fine. Let yourself be free. Don't use style as like some kind of binding, if you know what I mean, right? Okay, to answer the question, how do you develop your own style, is that one, of course, it's fundamentals, right? You gotta study a little bit because it really helps your understanding of the world. It helps you distort reality to suit your needs better if you have understanding of the world and reality. And also, like, just generally do things like explore. Try different things, try different media, use different brushes, all sorts of things, try different colors. Just kind of be patient and see and notice and pay attention to what you enjoy doing. Your style should be something that you're happy to draw, because if it's not, then what's the point, right? But yeah, I guess that's about it. That's really all I wanted to say about style. So everyone in chat as well, be like, wow, incredible, amazing. Say something like that, okay? Thank you. Appreciate it. Wow, look at the chat. I'm sharing such useful information. Okay, maybe scale it back a bit. I think you guys are overdoing it. It's actually unrealistic at this point.